What up, everybody? It's your girl, Melinda Michelle, author and spiritual warfare strategist, and I am back. So, today we're going to continue talking about identity. Someone asked me a long time ago when I released this book for me to explain it. So, this is going to be the workbook that is a part of the third part of the spiritual warfare curriculum that is forthcoming. I do plan to release it before the end of the year, but your girl is currently getting her PhD and finalizing all of that. So your spiritual identity dossier, even though this is the workbook that goes with the third part, as you matriculate through the curriculum, you're going to get this information, right? And so you want to go ahead and have it so that you can keep a record of it. And so you're probably asking, like, what is the purpose of keeping a record of your identity? One, because you're going to forget. And two, well, remember how important it was for the life of Mordecai when he was being accused of something by Haman, and God woke up King Xerxes, and because it was written, and he went and found out what Mordecai did for him. And so it was imperative that that written information be retrievable. So I'm sure I've already talked about this, but there is a man by the name of James Kawalye, and he has a 3-hour testimony on YouTube. Go find it, go look it up. Every Christian needs to watch this interview. But he talks about how a group of Christians, they were in this thing called covenant prayer. And it's a powerful spiritual weapon. And they didn't even know what they were doing, but they got on the radar of some high-ranking demonic people, and they brought him in because he was a witch, and brought him in to shut them down. And they handed him a dossier that he said was like 500 pages of intel on this group of church people. And all they were doing were praying 3 hours a day for 90 days. And in the dossier, it contained all of this information about them, past sins, bloodline sins, and all of that. And it was the intel that he got out of this book that he used to strategically infiltrate that group, right? And so even heaven is full of records. Your book of destiny, Daniel talks about the books written in heaven. David in Psalms talks about the books written in heaven. Like, there is something to the written word, the Bible, right? And so this right here was created for people to keep track of all of the pieces of your identity, and so that you can easily reference stuff. And when you go and start warring with a group of people, you can organize yourselves based on who you are in the spirit, because that is what shifts the strategy and intentionality when going to war, right? So this dossier, your name has a significant meaning. So at the beginning of it, it lists all of the different parts of your spiritual identity and what they are, right? And so there's so many pieces, so many pieces. One of the things we have not talked about your backing. And so just like anything else, what backs you? Like what, when somebody is starting a new job and they're looking for venture capitalists, they're looking for investors because they need someone to back them. They need the finances to back them, to give them the push they need to go forward. So your backing is another piece of your spiritual identity. I am backed by justice. And it was really, really fascinating discovering that we had a backing. And so all of these things, again, I just really be minding my business, doing what God told me to do. And as I am, we're stumbling along things, and we're yet and still finding out more and more things about what's our spiritual makeup. One of the things we haven't talked about in this current series is your cardinal weapon. I'm pretty sure that I've talked about this in some way, shape, form, or capacity. There's your kingdom hierarchy, right? But your cardinal weapon is the spiritual weapon that's your go-to. And I don't put God in a box, but I do have a list of spiritual weapons that we know of to date. There could be more. Yours may be in there. It may not. I will also tell you that cardinal weapons can change. So my cardinal weapon, and when I say your cardinal weapon, your weapons that are not carnal. So praise, prayer, speaking in tongues, wailing, obedience, fasting, I can't think of any off the top of my head. It's in the books. It's all listed in the books. But it's the weapon that you go to first. Now, my cardinal weapon, when it was assigned to me, it actually came with instructions. So my cardinal weapon was get up every morning at 5 a.m. and give God praise. And I was like, okay. Now, when he gave me this, I was a full-on heathen, so I wasn't even living right. But later, when warfare arose, the Holy Spirit reminded me of that weapon. And when I say that thing would work just like that, oh my God, it was amazing. So it's important to know what your cardinal weapon is, and so that when you're attacked, that's the first weapon that you go to. So if praise is your cardinal weapon, when a situation arises and you know you need to pray, you would praise first, right? But for me, because my came with specific instructions, it was get up every morning at 5 a.m. and give me praise. If something hit me at 12 o'clock lunchtime and this is a bad situation, it's ugly, if I'm going to use my cardinal weapon, of course I'm gonna pray right then, but my cardinal weapon, I can't use that until the next morning at 5 a.m. right? So not all cardinal weapons are given a specific way to be used, but just he's God. He cannot be exhausted. He's so big. He's so vast. And so I'm going to share everything that I know to date, but there's always more. Okay? It's really in these spiritual streets.